And the WNBA circus continues as the league and the Players Association have come to a silly agreement for an extension of the CBA for the next 30 days, as if that has any bearing whatsoever on coming to an agreement. This is the circus that never stops. It only continues. They should make this a soap opera and call it the days of our WNBA lives, because that's all this nonsense is one big soap opera. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, where we talk facts over feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Show. Mind hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell, leave your comments. Let me know y'all thoughts. WNBA Players Association agreed to the 30-day extension for the CBA. For what? For what? A bunch of them are sitting on the beach right now having a party. I mean, if you haven't seen some of the posts that I've seen, my goodness, they're not even concerned about this. They're literally at the beach right now. So what are you doing an extension for? What is the purpose of an extension? The idea of an extension, from my perspective, is that you have not been locked out by the ownership, right? Which means, in my opinion, that you still have access to the team facilities. That is literally the definition, from what I understand, a lockout to be. These women ain't going on strike. They would have already been on strike. They were never going to go on strike. They're going to be locked out. That's what was supposed to happen tomorrow after this today passed over. There's supposed to be a lockout as of tomorrow. Well, the ownership offered an olive branch. They offered the olive branch, and the players initially were thought to probably going to reject it. Well, they've decided to accept it. I guess some of them still want to exercise at the team facility. Some of them still want to shoot jumpers at the team facility and not go to the local LA Fitness. But most of these players are not even probably not even in the cities in which they play right now, because they mostly don't live in these places. I've seen photos of players who were on vacation. They're at the beach. They're partying it up. They're not exercising. They're not staying in shape. That would be the opposite of what the WNBA does. Preparation. They don't prepare. They get out of shape. They show up at camp and they have to work themselves back into shape in the first month of the season, which is largely why we see pathetic basketball. So it says, with the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement set to expire Friday, which is today, the league and the WNBPA agreed to a 30-day extension of the current CBA through November 30th, albeit with one caveat. The Players Association acknowledged Friday. The WNBPA Executive Committee agreed to the league's proposed 30-day extension of the current CBA, with the condition that the players may terminate the extension at any time with 48 hours notice. Read a statement from the Players Association. What the fuck does that matter? You can terminate the extension. Oh my God. Like, what the? Are you getting paid off of that? No. Like, what do we care? What does it matter? Who gives a shit? Does it make any difference? No, it does not. So, what does it matter if they can cancel the fucking extension? Oh my God, the players are going to cancel the extension and now they cannot use the facilities. Oh, Lord have mercy. Here's the problem for most of these players. Most of these players are broke. Most of these players without the facility can't work out anywhere. They're going to LA Fitness. They're going to UFit. They're going to AMP. They're going to some random. They're going to the local park. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. They don't have the access to these things. They're going to go back to wherever they went to college or wherever. I don't know where they're going. WNBA continued with, while we believe negotiations would be further along, the players are more focused, united, and determined than ever to reach an agreement that reflects their value and their undeniable impact on the league. Oh my God. I'm going to remind these women the impact and the undeniable impact and value in the league is Caitlin Clark. But I'll be real. Caitlin Clark is not being very helpful when it comes to her supporters. The many podcasts that have backed her and championed her, she is not very helpful to the podcasts that support her. And here's why. Here's why. And you may not like it. Here's why. She doesn't talk. She says nothing. She is invisible. By her being invisible, she leaves it very, very difficult for the many content creators who love Caitlin Clark to have anything to talk about. If you've noticed, much of the content being produced WNBA wise is fluffery and garbage. In fact, a lot of it is made up. It's completely made up. It's filled with lies and speculation for which then the videos don't actually talk about anything that's involved in the title or the thumbnail image of the video. Yeah, I call that shit out because I despise it. I told you, I'm not talking about this shit for the most part, unless Caitlin Clark plays. But you know what? This is a topic to discuss because I was hoping to be seeing a lockout tomorrow. Instead, we have an extension. So I figured let's talk about it. But with Caitlin Clark never speaking and never doing any press, well, the reality is the people that follow her have nothing to watch. And the people that produce content on her have nothing to really talk about. Oh, that's real in nature. So, and I think people are getting hip to the game that there is nothing real. So at the end of the day, then why are we watching the videos? Like I saw a video earlier today from the Pope. It was a live stream. He said he had 10 people on the live. Shout out, Pope. 10 people on the live. And in that live, and I didn't see it live because I was sleeping, just being real. I was asleep. But I saw a recording. And it's like, I had so much more, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. So, yeah, like I was saying, he said very clearly, like he used to have hundreds of people on these lives. And I can attest to that. Because when I was doing lives, we would have a couple, 200-300 people. I could do an impromptu live, and I have 300 people on it. 300 people on it. Now, Ben Dale and I are doing Sunday Night Heat, and we got like 120 people combined on it, 150 between our two channels. So it's not to say like we appreciate y'all who come on, but I know many people are just Caitlin Clark fans, and that's fine. Every time someone says they're a Fever fan, they're lying. We know this. I've said it a million times. You're not a Fever fan. You're a Caitlin Clark fan. That's fine. But Caitlin Clark ain't helping us right now. Caitlin Clark is not helping the people that cover her because she says nothing. She's bland, boring, lacks personality, and says nothing in the. I mean, she says nothing. But yet, Nafisa Collier uses her name as the barometer for negotiation now. She's the barometer for the negotiation. It's so laughable. It's unreal. It's unreal. Nafisa Collier recently, we are being so grossly almost taken advantage of. No, you're an adult who signed a deal, and it should be illegal. Like what do you? No one requires you to play. Like no one makes you do this. You chose this. You signed this deal. If it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, you'd be your viewership would be the same dog shit that it's already been. That's always been. It wouldn't be any different than it was 5 years ago. But yet you've convinced yourselves that you're more than that, and you're not. You've never been. You've never been. The amount of money that Caitlin Clark has made the league is insane. And she's getting 0% of it because we have no rev share. She gets less than $80,000 a year. And like she's bringing in like hundreds of millions of dollars. All right, let's take a breath. She's not bringing hundreds of millions of dollars. Take a fucking breath. Like, she's not bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars. Take a woosah. Like, stop it. Stop it. She's bringing in a lot of money, but that's not hundreds of millions. Now, mind you, your TV deal exists because of her, but you last year wanted to take credit for it. In this, I remember this because I was taking my son to travel basketball practice, and I remember the video came out where she was talking about how all the arenas were full because of all the great players in the league, and Caitlin Clark wasn't even mentioned in those great players. She wasn't part of the conversation. She wasn't the springboard to everything happening. It was all the other players and all the great players of your league. But now, because now you know that the owners ain't buying the bullshit, it's now, oh, Caitlin Clark. Let's use Caitlin Clark's name in everything so we can position ourselves and maybe we can grab the Caitlin Clark fans on our side, which ain't gonna happen because you done shit on the girl for so fucking long. But maybe now you're a hypocrite because you said it was nothing about her a year ago, 6 months ago. Now it's all about her. Now she's the name that you drop every single time. It's ridiculous. So she says all of that. And now it's just a joke. Now they go on. Now they have this freaking silly ass extension, which means nothing. It means nothing. The players were offered a boatload of money, 850,000 or more for max contracts, and the dog doo mediocre average shit player can make 300 grand. If I'm that dog doo shit doo player, I want my 300 grand for 4 months of work. I was making 60. And you know what? Caitlin Clark is on a rookie deal. So Caitlin Clark would be making $80,000 next year too, regardless of your CBA. She's making $80,000 next year. Now, if there's a new rev share component, maybe she gets some share of the rev, great. But her salary is still $80,000. It's a rookie scale contract. NFL has a rookie scale contract. NBA has a rookie scale contract. I don't know if baseball does or not. NHL does. But there's a rookie scale contract. So it doesn't matter whether or not you have rev share or not in terms of her salary, because her salary is her salary. Y'all gonna get a massive raise and she'll still be making 80 grand. But now you've included her, and then you include Angel Reese. Hell, you even included Paige Beckers, who wasn't in the league when you had that conversation with Kathy Engelbert. But let's also remember now that Adam Silver went on the Today Show and he talked about, the WN players will get a big increase in salaries, but he pointed to absolute numbers as a way to measure growth as opposed to their share of revenue, which is logical when the league has lost money for so long. There are people that truly question if the league's lost money. There are people that question if the ownership, and they're only doing it because of the new found money coming from the sale of new franchises. Because if you asked this question 5 years ago, you wouldn't even have this. This wouldn't even be a debate. It really wouldn't. So you wouldn't have to question, oh, are they losing money? Yeah, nobody watches the game. Have you heard of any of these players? I guarantee you right now, if these players walk down the street, well, most of you wouldn't even recognize them. Most players would be unrecognizable. Oh, that's a tall chick. Maybe she plays basketball. Like, you wouldn't have any clue. But this crap is so this is so ridiculous and messy. This is a soap opera. And, if I'm one of those lower level players, I want my 300K. I want my 300K, man. I'm not going to make $300,000 for 4 months doing anything else. But the people at the higher levels, they want more because they're the ones that are going to get more. I'm not exactly sure about how revenue share works. I'm going to be real with you. I don't know exactly the intricacies of revenue share, but I'm pretty sure that the revenue share is based on the player. I'm guessing. Because if I sell jerseys, I get revenue share. If your jersey doesn't sell shit, you ain't getting anything, right? I don't know. If there are people that know more about this than I do, please feel free to comment on it because I'd love to know more. Because when they say revenue share, it's not evenly distributed. I'll be damned. See, here's another thing. I will be damned if I'm Caitlin Clark and my revenue share is equal to the players on my team when I'm the reason people are watching the game. Or does Nafisa Collier want a revenue share that's equal for everybody so that she benefits the same as Caitlin Clark, even though she hasn't done a fraction of what Caitlin Clark has done for this league and people just like her? So the Asia Wilsons, the Brianna Stewarts, the Sabrinas, the whoever else who, while they have importance in the WNBA, they don't have the importance in terms of people watching it. No one's watching it for them. So why should they get equal money to Caitlin Clark in a revenue share? That's the question I do have. And I don't know the answer to that. If you know the answer to that, please do let me know. But it's ridiculous. They're getting an extension. Congrats. You have an extension, and then what? Are you gonna make a deal in the next 30 days? Oh, you might cancel the extension. Oh my God. Oh my God. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. What do you think of this silly ass extension? Because at the end of the day, they're not going to get this thing wrapped up in 30 days because they're on the beach. They're at the beach. They're having a party. And again, what does the extension do? It doesn't require. See, the extension has nothing to do with negotiations because you can still negotiate while locked out. You're still negotiating while in a lockout. All the extension does is allow you access to the facilities, access to the people that work, like the trainers and stuff like that. That's fine. But these players aren't working out right now. These players are on vacation. So, extension. Big deal. So what? Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button. My dog is barking now. He's like, enough of this WNBA shit. Get off this damn video. That's all I got. Like, subscribe, and follow. Hit that bell. Appreciate y'all. As always, this is Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. I'm sorry. Power back. Come on now, the podcast. Come on now.